asanas right there. I don't want to start sweating.
All right, so let's start out. On hands and feet today. You're going to start right on down dog. Wake up the body early. So I want you to find your hands. And everybody's agreed to be on YouTube. You say that on the tapes now before somebody decides to see you. Thank you. All right, so I want everybody to look up here. I want you to do this with your hand. Bend your fingers back. If you need to be on your knees for this part, be on your knees for this part. I want you to feel the knuckles of the hand, the knuckle right where it meets the big fleshy part of the hand. That is what holds you up when you're in your down dog. Now notice if your shoulder is eating your ear, pull that back so you can engage your serratus underneath the armpit. Keep that pulled back against the hand shifting forward. Okay, put your thumb down. When you bring your hand down, I want you to feel a little pocket of air in the palm of the hand. As your thumb slides down, it slides wide on the mat. And then your fingers really hold on. You guys feel that? So the pressure is not in your wrist. You're not compressing the joint. You're using the muscles in the hand up here to shift your weight. Okay? Other hand, same thing. Bring it up. Bend the fingers back. Notice if your neck's helping, pull that shoulder back. Okay? Keeping the shoulder pulled back. The other shoulder should be pulled back, and this hand should still be active, by the way. Okay? Then put the thumb down. As you bring the rest of the hand down, slide the thumb across the mat toward the other one. Feel all the little metacarpals, the little bones in the hand spread out. Now, outer spiral of the arms so your biceps face forward. Good. We'll start here. Let's do a little down dog on your knees. Walk your knees back a little ways. Take your sitting bones back with straight arms. Bring your head in line with your arms. Now feel like you're pulling the mat back to you with the hands from the serratus. So how do you engage those here? Feel like your hand, your knuckles, are pulling the mat horizontally apart. You should feel a little bit of your tricep and a little bit of your serratus. Okay, then pull your shoulders down away from the ears. Okay, now go the other way. Suck the ribs up and back and let your shoulder blades spread off the back. So round a little bit. That'll help you bring the ribs up. Good. And then come back up. Okay.
So it's not like this. You want your shoulders.
You want to be able to move the shoulder blades with the ribs open or with the ribs closed. You want to be able to move them back and forth on different orientations within the ribs. The easiest way to start finding it is to bring the ribs up, head down, and then slide the ribs back.
But then like this or like this?
No, the other way. Yeah, so your shoulder blades slide off the back. You know how they just pulled up the sides of the rib cage?
But I feel like my shoulders are in my ears now, and like here they're not. But here, you
Yeah,
said get your shoulders away from the ears.
Let your shoulder blades come up first.
Okay.
Okay. Now when you go to pull the mat back, pull the shoulder blades back down.
Okay.
Okay. And pull your hands a little wider, and then drop your head down. Okay. Come back forward again. Keep your weight shifted to the knuckles, outer spiral of the arms. So when you're in your down dog, there's two different ways we're going to play, or a lot of different ways we're going to play with the ribs. Sometimes we are going to lift the ribs up out of the shoulder grip. If you drop your head out of the way, you shouldn't be in your neck. Sometimes we're going to drop the ribs back down, open the ribs, disengage the core. Sometimes we'll pick them up. So there's a lot of different positions with the ribs and shoulder blades that we're starting to work on. Okay? All right, so come back to hands. Shoulder blades sit wide by pulling the shoulders back away from the ears. Let's just bring the shoulders to the ears. Feel how if you bring the back of the head up, that just kills your neck. That does not feel good. You don't want to feel that pretty much ever, no matter what position you're in. Drop your head back down. Then pull your shoulders wide. Pull the shoulder blades back. Okay, now press into your hands. Try to pick the ribs up. If you're having trouble moving that, come to elbows. Take a couple of the joints out of it and pick the ribs up there. Once your ribs are up into the back of the rib cage, drop your head. Legitimately let it hang, keeping pressure in hands. Then, once you feel your chest engage, really press down into the thumb knuckle. Pull the mat apart a little bit with your hands. You should feel your chest. Your pecs attached to the collarbone. You should feel that. Okay, once you have that engaged, now slide your shoulders forward. Okay, that should be from your chest. You feel that? And drop the head back down. Let it release. Good. And then drop your chest back down. All right, let's try some of this up in the air. So we're going to push back through the feet. Bring your chest back to start. Keep the shoulder blades back with your serratus and pull them out apart. Then push through the feet, keeping that all stable. Bring your hips
Let your head release. Good. Guys, feel your serratus engaged here. Okay, keep pulling them out apart with hands a little bit. Now outer spiral arms so your biceps face up. And then see if you can drop your ribs further back and stretch your shoulders. So you're going to drop your head way through the arms. Try to drop the ribs back a little bit deeper, sitting bones up high. Good. Bend your knees if you need to here. Breathe. And bring it back up. Start coming forward. This time you're going to drop your tail by lifting low belly. So not squeezing glutes. Lift your low belly up. Press through the thumb side of the hand. Pick ribs up. Then start coming forward slowly toward a plank with a really domed upper back. Good. Keep the back domed here. Sock the belly up. Okay, we're going to take it back. When you start feeling like your sitting bones reach back, your belly stays engaged. Don't let it go. Pressure through hands to take your hips back. And then drop your head back through the arms. Let your ribs open. Drop the ribs back as far as you can, stretching shoulders. Okay? One more like that. Pick your ribs up. Inhale. As you exhale, pick up onto your toes. Heels come high. Tuck your head in as far as you can. Look at your own sternum. Keep pressure in thumb side of the hand. As you come forward, pull the mat horizontally apart with the hands. Feel your neck get longer. Top of the head reaches forward. Chin tucks in. And push through thumbs to pick ribs up. Guys, feeling that dome? Then go ahead and drop the hips. Good. And then bring it back. Hips reaching back, sitting bones reaching back. Good. Okay, we're going to do one more like that, and then stay there. We're going to step the right foot forward. So lift your low belly. Push through your hands to pick your ribs up. So it's a little harder here than just the linear way when the shoulders are, when the ribs are right over the hands. Now start coming forward, pushing into the toes to come higher. Keep your ribs high, thumb knuckle heavy. Pull them out apart to open shoulders, chin in. Once you're forward, stay that high. That's what makes room for your foot to step outside your hands. Step the right foot forward, outside your hands. From here, drop your hips down. Back foot is strong. Your heels should be right above the toes, maybe a little behind. And let the hips drop a little deeper. Unlock your elbows if they're locked. Breathe here. Front toes are turned out. The knees should be open past the toes. So that's going to roll you to the pinky side of the foot, but don't let the foot die. Don't just sit in these tendons in the outer foot. Keep the foot active and reach back down into the mat with the inner foot. At the same time, you're opening that hip. Okay, press through the front leg and the hands, the arms at the same time. We're going to dome here. So push through thumbs, drop the head, legitimately let it hang, suck the ribs up. Stay here for a breath. Inhale. Exhale for as long as you can until you start to feel your ribs close in, feel pressure in the hands. Now, drop your chest down a little bit into the shoulder girdle. Bend the front knee a little and hold. Drop your back heel back. Keep dropping the chest deeper now. You should have more room to. Now, bend the elbows straight back like chaturanga. Bend your front knee. See how deep you can get down into that hip stretch. Keeping shoulders pulled back away from the ears. Breathe. Push into the front foot and hands, bring it back up. Drop your head through your arms. Legitimately let it hang. You're keeping pressure in the hands, but you're letting the neck release. Okay? Now keeping the pressure in the thumb side of the hand, flatten all your fingers and knuckles. Make sure you shift that weight forward like we practiced earlier in the hands. Knuckles of the hands, not wrists. Keep that pressure through thumbs. Now inner spiral arms. Put a little bend in your elbows here, like you're bending them out to the sides. Okay, re-straighten the hands, feel the chest as biceps come toward each other. Do that again. Bend the elbows a little. Re-straighten, feel your pecs engaged. Now outer spiral arms, that means biceps face forward. Okay, start bending the front knee about halfway and then hold. Drop the back heel back. And then drop your chest as deep down into your shoulder girdle as you can. Shoulder blades slide together on the back. Then pull shoulders away from ears. Then bend elbows toward your chaturanga. All of this happens in succession when we move through this. Okay. All right, put your back knee down. Bring your elbows down. How we doing? Getting warmed up? No worries. Okay, good. Breathe. Make sure you keep dropping the hips forward. Bring that foot further forward. Turn it out more. Good. So your foot, hopefully your heel can be near your elbows. Bring your front foot a little wider. Turn your toes out a little more. Open your knee more. Good. Lean toward the right hip and open the knee. At the same time, bring your right shoulder away from the hip. Think of bringing your right shoulder toward your jaw. Not so toward your jaw as opposed to the ear. So you keep a little pressure in the elbow as the shoulder comes across. Let your head drop. Open the knee away from that. You should feel that. Open up the ribs on the right side. Open up the hip on the right side. And then bring it back. Good. Lean into your left elbow. Let your left hip drop toward the mat. It's okay if that right knee comes in toward you a little bit. Let the left hip flexor go. And come back to the middle. Good. Bring your hands back to the mat. Bring your right hand outside your right leg. Roll the shoulder a little forward so the upper arm makes a flat surface to push back into the shin, the right shin. Okay. Push into the back leg if you want to go deeper. Drop your chest down toward the heel. Keep the foot honest. Lift all 5 toes on that right foot. And then bring it back down. Grab the mat with the toes. Good. Put the back knee back down if you need to. Otherwise, keep them in the air. Shoulders roll back. Really pin that right knee back with your right elbow. Feel your serratus under the right armpit. Right shoulder blade pulling back. And then push up. Come on up. Hands back to the middle. Step your foot back. How we doing? Ooh. Ooh. Waking up, right? All right. From here, keep pressure in your hands now to lift your ribs up out of the shoulder girdle. Drop your head once you do that to disengage the neck. Push into the toes. Bring your heels really high. Bend your knees a little bit. Now take your sitting bones up. Drop your chest back. Try to put your floating ribs on your thighs. Yep, that's it. Drop the head more. You can put a soft bend in elbows toward the mat here, and you'll feel those serratus even more. Re-straighten arms if you bend them. Re-straighten legs. Staying on your toes, keep the head drop. Don't put the back of the head on the ceiling. Pull hands apart on the mat. Pick your right hip up, staying on your toes. Right hip, just like this. Toes will come off the ground. Good. Take that leg straight out to the side. We're going to turn on the hips. Come back down, everybody. Look up here. Straight out. Perfect. Breathe. Spread the right toes out. Push your hands more. Bring that leg back. Drop your chest further back. Put the back heel down. Bring that foot in. How we doing? Everybody's alive? Okay. Second side. Come high under your toes. Drop your head back. Take that leg straight out to the side. Spread the toes out. Good. Bring it back. Drop your chest back further, head back further. Bring the right heel down, bring your foot down. Good, come on down to the knees. Hands way out in front. Come over the hands. Drop the chest down into the shoulder girdle. Good. And then push your hands, pick it back up. Spread the shoulder blades, suck the belly back. Start sitting back. Slowly, keep ribs sucking back. Keep your head dropped. Your arms can't stay stuck to the mat. And then sit back as far and as long as you can. You can let your forehead touch the ground and breathe. One more round of this strength work. And then you'll be so warm your muscles will just want to stretch so easily. Here we go. Come on up. When you come up, play with this. You pull back on the mat. Hands feel the pressure of the pull, like you're trying to fold your mat up. Okay? But where does that come from? You don't bend arms to pull, you don't go into wrists. It comes from here. So shoulders should come well back away from ears. That can happen either dumping ribs to the mat, which is a position, it's an upper back bend, it's fine, it's not bad, it's just one shape. Or that can happen with your ribs up a little bit. Don't squeeze glutes a lot to do that, just push through thumbs. And then you come forward and shoulders open. Okay? Alright. Here we go. Let's do second side. You ready? Questions? We're all getting this pretty much? Okay. Keep the chest back, sitting bones back. Keep your shoulders away from your ears and your hands pulling the mat wide and then outer spiral. So triceps, straighten arms forward. Bend your elbows to the mat. I want them to hover an inch above the floor. Good. Keep shoulders pulling back on the floor. Lift your low belly and ribs a little. Now let the ribs down. Okay, now re-straighten the arms. Keep the back muscles engaged in the serratus. Push through the feet. Take your hips up, drop your head down. Hips lead as you go back. Your hands push, but your low belly pulls. Drop the head back. Right heel flat on the mat. Bring the body forward slowly. Pick up both heels, low belly in. Ribs come high. Dome the upper back as you come forward. Keep pressure in thumbs. Keep hands pulling that apart to widen neck. Stay that high. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Good. Turn the toes out at least 40 or about 45 degrees. Knees should be able to pass the foot. And then drop the back hip down. Okay. Back knee in the air if you can. Put a baby bend in your elbows, hugging them in toward each other. That's to accomplish the outer spiral, which makes the bicep face forward. Bend elbows back and hug in. Now pull shoulders back away from ears with those muscles running down the side of the body and the rib cage. It's a lot of engagement. Okay, straighten the front leg, press through the arms. Now inner spiral arms, so biceps face in. Drop your head, keep pressure in thumb side of the hand, keep knuckles flat. Pick your ribs up high, inhale. Push into the back toes. As you exhale, stay here until you close your ribs. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling until you feel your ribs closed. Hold, keep ribs closed. Drop chest back down into shoulder girdle. So that means you're going to let go of that pressure in thumbs a little. Then drop the right heel back. Then bend your left knee forward, hold. Outer spiral arms, so biceps face forward. Drop chest deeper into shoulder girdle, bend elbows straight back, drop hip and ribs at the same time. As deep as you can. Good, one more like that. Push through your left foot and the hands to come up. Inner spiral arms, push through the thumb side of the hand and the rest of the knuckles. Flatten fingers, drop head. Pick your ribs up higher, spreading shoulder blades. Suck the belly up, push through the right toes. Now see if you can drop your right hip further forward than the left. Really roll that right hip in, like your inner spiraling right leg, outer spiraling left leg. Inhale again. Exhale for as long as you can until your ribs close. Then outer spiral your arms first to the side. Drop your chest down into shoulder girdle as far as you can. Then start bending front knee a little bit. Stop right there. Drop the back heel back. Stop right there. Drop chest even deeper. Bend elbows straight back. Drop chest and hips at the same time. Good. Put the back knee down. Come down to your elbows. This is actually a break. It is a big stretch. If you need blocks under elbows, you can put blocks under your elbows to bring it up higher, but you're giving the arms, the brain, a break. Less joints involved. The humerus in the upper arm is weight bearing and it's bone, so less work, right? Breathe. Let's press down through the forearms to pick your ribs up, and then drop the ribs straight back down. Do that again. Hands can be flat or they can be interlaced or in prayer. Press down through the forearms, picking ribs up. Drop the chest back down. One more time. Push down through the forearms, pick the ribs up. Drop back down. Good. Come back to your hands. Bring your left arm in front of the left shin. Hand flat on the mat. Both elbows bend wide. You can push into the back leg if you want to add the extra weight into the stretch. Otherwise, you can keep back knee down and just start bringing chest toward the heel. Or sternum to the heel, maybe belly to the heel. Left elbow pulls back from the serratus, underneath that armpit, underneath the shoulder blade. And keep trying to plug the left hip back as your ribs go forward. Breathe if you're not. Left toes, pick them up, and then bring them all solidly back down to the mat, especially the inner foot. Good, and bring it back down with the knee, hands come back to the center. Good, push through the front leg, step it back. Good job. Come high on your toes, drop your head back, use your hands like they're shifting the mat forward. At the same time, your hips have to cooperate. If your hips stay tucked and are hell bent on staying forward, you're not getting back. Hips have to reach up and back. As your hands push the mat forward, drop your head back. Let your ribs spill right now. Stretch the shoulders. Okay, pick up the right foot higher. Right hip higher, I should say. Take that foot straight out to the side. Feel the right hand have to press more to keep the right side long. Take the right leg back. Reach up. And then bring it back down. Last one here. Left leg up. Bring it out to the side. Straight out to the side. Open the legs away from each other. Push through the left hand. Bring it straight back. Get longer. Press through hand. Drop head. And bring it back down. Come over the knees. Sit back on the feet. Okay. Is anybody not awake yet? Breathe. Put your forehead down. Alright, so some of you are going into the neck a little bit. Okay, it's a mistake you're going to make for a while until the serratus gets stronger. You're looking for a place to put your weight. So we're going to stretch the neck. Keep your forehead on the mat. Bring your hands back next to your face where you can see them. If you've never done neck rolls, this is a little bit more risky way to start. You may leave elbows out to the sides in front of you if you rather. But if you know where we're going, this will give you more room. So it's easier, but also less support for the neck. All right, so we're gonna roll forward, heavy on your head. Your head cannot slip on the mat, it has to stay stuck. Roll all the way to the back of the head. If the base of the hand starts to lift, walk your hands forward a little. Looking for a 90-degree angle in the arms. Lift your shoulders up and back, away from the nape of the neck. If you're tucked in the hips, let that go. Reach your pubic bone back. Pubic bone back, sitting bones apart. Feel your knees, pull them out apart. Now as you roll back, it should feel like your hands are pushing the mat forward. Shoulders pulling back, roll back heavy on your head, and sit all the way down. Good. You feeling that neck stretch? You don't like this one enough?
No, I don't like that.
I know. The other way to do this is to interlace hands behind the head if you want a boundary for how far you're going to go. It's harder to lengthen the neck there. Let's do one more. Elbows hugging in, pressure in the forehead, roll forward, heavy on the head, all the way toward the back of the head. If hands lift, you can walk them forward. Lift shoulders up away from ears, let hips reach back instead of tucking tail under. Breathe, and then slowly rolling back. Good. Bring the hands out in front. Push into your hands, spot one spot on the mat, make sure you're not dizzy, and then sit back on the feet. Good. Okay. Walk the knees back further, so keeping the toes steady, keeping them stuck. Walk one knee back further at a time, and then sit back on your heels. Okay. So stretching the feet. Inner feet should be touching. Let's flip the hands backwards. If this is a big stretch in your hands, you bring the hand back a little further. Don't go crazy. We still want a stretch. If it's not enough of a stretch, you bring the hand forward. That'll increase the degree of flexion, although I wouldn't suggest that yet because we're going to deepen it. All right, here we go. Hands should be as wide as the mat, and base of the hand aimed out a little bit if you can. Fingers will be aimed back in toward your knees to touch. Okay, and then drop your chest down into the shoulder girdle. Let your head and neck legitimately hang. If arms are straight and you actually let go of the muscles in your chest and your core to drop the ribs down, you'll just kind of rest in your shoulder joint. It deepens the stretch though. So soft bend in your right elbow. Feel the weight move to the knuckles of the right hand. Keep it there. Spread your fingers out without lifting the wrist. Just try to spread your fingers on the mat even if they don't move. And then re-straighten that arm a little. Keep the soft bend in the elbow. Other side. Pull the elbow back by pulling the left shoulder back. Engage your serratus. Let your hips go. If you're tucked, you gotta let that go. You gotta sit on the feet. If your feet hurt, untuck your toes. Okay, and then let that one go. One more time. Right elbow, pull it back a little. Keep pulling until the base of the hand starts to lift. Trust your knuckles of your hand with some weight. Don't take all the weight out of it to stretch it. Try to keep a little bit of weight in the stretch. Roll back until your fingers start to bend back. And then roll it back forward. Left hand, same thing. Be very mindful of what you're feeling as you roll through the hand. Keep weight there, don't overdo it. Don't put so much weight you hurt yourself, but try to keep some weight in the hand as you roll back and then roll forward. Good, how we doing? Okay? All right, pressure in hands, drop your head. I want you to push your hands, especially the index and thumb, to spread your shoulder blades and bring your ribs back. Like cat-cow, drop your head, sock the low belly back. Now keep hips sitting though, don't pick them up off the feet. Good. If you've got even more room, you can pull your knees up into your belly. If you're pretty much at your limit, then you're at your limit. Okay, drop the knees back down if they're up. Let your belly and core release a little bit. Drop the chest back down into shoulder girdle. All right, ready to come out of the hand stretch. Roll back through the right hand, bending fingers back, hold. Slide it forward, just stretching hands, not so much wrist. Roll a little deeper into the stretch. Roll all the way back, keep the thumb open, and then come to your knuckles when you're out of it. Keep thumb forward, fingers open. Don't stick the fingers in there and squish them. Okay, other side, keep pressure in the right knuckles. Roll back through the left fingers. Try not to squeeze the glutes. Let the hips go if you can. And then when you have fingers bent back, slide forward. Roll through the hand. And then roll it back. Open and close if you want, but knuckles on the mat. Good. If you're comfortable with knuckles, bring them near knees, and we're going to push into knuckles. If you're not, you can tent fingers or flatten hands. Knuckles or tented gives you an extra 3 to 4 inches for what we're about to do. Okay? You're gonna spread shoulder blades off the back by pushing through hands, drop head, sock your ribs and low belly back. Don't tuck hips though, that's gonna make it harder. Your hips have to sit back. Then pick your knees up, sitting the hips back. Try to drop heels toward the mat. Feet should be waking up. Okay, and then come back to fingertips center. Okay. Okay, now elbows hug in on your knees. Knees open out into elbows, so opposition there. The more knees open, the more elbows hug in. Try to let your sitting bones reach back like you're untucking the hips and trying to flatten the back. Reach the pubic bone back. At the same time, roll your shoulders back. Try to slide the ribs forward and up, flattening your back out. Good, very good. Now, inner feet try to touch. Don't let the feet fall apart. Get those inner arches toward each other. They don't have to touch, but they're trying to. Try to lift your toes up. Probably won't happen, not your heels. I didn't misspeak for once, and it's rare. Lift your toes up. Yeah, it's really hard, but it engages your foot. Keep lifting the toes or doing it in your brain, and then lift your heels up. Keep the toes lifted, keep the feet active. Now drop your hips to your heels more, let your glutes go. Good, bring all the toes down, grab them out with the toes. Hug your knees in, away from elbows, pull elbows out, away from knees, suck the cord back. Drop your head down. Okay, keep your low belly. Keep hips sitting on heels, and then go ahead and try to lengthen up. Come down 1 or 2 fingers on each hand, or maybe you can come all the way to prayer. Keep your weight forward. Don't lean back to take weight out of the toes. That's your brace. That's the only thing balancing you. Low belly sucks inside the rib cage to come up back to the spine. Okay, bring the hands back down. Bring the arms inside the legs, open the knees. Walk the hands out in front. Drop your heels back. You're going to walk the hands as far as you need to drop heels back without falling. And don't go back to the point of no return where you can't get forward again. If you can put your heels down, then that's fine, as long as you can come back forward. If you can't come back forward, then don't do that. Okay, drop your head through the arms. Let your heels drop as far as they can without going to the point of no return. Open knees, but keep trying to keep that big toe and inner foot down. Breathe. Drop your head in deeper through the arm. So to push your feet, pick your hips up a little bit. Just pick up the butt. And then drop it back down. Release the hips deeper. One more time, push the feet, pick the hips up. Drop it down. Good. And then come forward slowly, high on the toes. Keep your hands planted. Last one here. Bend your elbows toward the mat. Hover them maybe 2-3 inches above the mat. Slide the knees down to elbow tips. Hug knees in on elbows. Push elbows out against knees. Shoulders back away from ears. Hold. Breathe. Slide the knees back up to your armpits. Drop your heels down. Good job. One more like this. Knees have to touch your arms. Okay, bring it up high on the toes. Slide the knees down to elbow tips. Elbows push out on knees. Knees hugging on the elbows. Suck the low belly up. Drop the head. Round. See if you can drop your rib cage back down into shoulder girdle. Shoulder blades come together. One more. Round it up. Now slide knees up to armpits. Drop heels down. Good. Knees come inside arms. Hands walk forward a little. Hips up. Hey. Come high on your right toes. Roll over the tips of the toes and tuck the toes under. That should feel good. Really good. Heel back. Keep your toes tucked under. And then roll back. Come high under your left toes. Roll over the tip of the toe and tuck the toes under. And then come back down. Good. Feet as wide as your mat. Walk your hands back. Bend your knees a little bit. Elbows hug in and try to reach down to the ground. Let your head hang. Fully hang. Okay, you're going to try to bring your ribs inside your own groin muscles. So work the ribs in there. Drop the chest down. Breathe. Roll to the inner arches of both feet. Think of lifting up the pinky side of the foot off the mat. Knees are going to squeeze in on your body a little bit. And then sit your hips a little bit lower. Then roll to the outer feet. Open the knees up more. Then roll back to the inner feet. Squeeze knees in. Roll to the outer feet. Let your head drop. I want the back of the head on the ceiling. And then straighten the legs up as much as you can while dropping chest down. Good. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Bend your knees as much as you need to put your heels flat. Good. Okay. Heel toe the feet in a little. Maybe shoulder width apart at the most. Straighten the right leg. Drop the head back. If you can't do the heels flat with hands down, grab some blocks. Switch. Bend the right knee. Straighten the left leg back. Try to drop your chest back. Use this time to practice shifting your weight into your feet and your hips back. Switch. Okay, so the more you use the hands to shift hips behind the heels, the better. Switch. It's a big hamstring stretch. Good. And good. Stay here. Bring your hands back. Bend the knees down. Sit all the way until the hips are parallel to the floor. Our upper leg is parallel to the floor if you can. And let's bring the arms straight back. Roll the shoulders back, chin in. So that should be back muscles, pulling your shoulders toward each other. Hands hug in like you're squeezing an imaginary block. Good, now drop your head and neck by lifting hips up. And then bend back down. Try to keep ribs attached to thighs. So I don't care how straight your legs are, I care for it to stay attached to thighs. Do it again, keep ribs attached to thighs, drop your head, bend back down again. Good job, hands to the floor, come to your knees. Hey, how we doing? Good. Okay, knees as wide as the mat.
Elbows down. Oh yeah, I was in the mood this morning. We're gonna work today. All right, strength stuff.
Good as well. Keep the knees as wide as the mat. Feet are a little bit inside the knees. So when you look back through your own legs, you should see your feet, meaning they shouldn't be outside the knees. But they're pretty much
As wide as the mat too.
just a little inside the mat. Elbows are shoulder width apart, maybe a touch wider if you know you're tight in the shoulders. Bring your body forward, and it's probably that you need to go more forward than you think. Most people don't like putting weight in their upper body. That doesn't necessarily go for you, Todd. You'd rather it be there. Drop the chest down into your shoulder girdle. So if you're stronger in your upper body, you may like being forward. Okay, push down into elbows to bring it back up. But for most people, really stay forward. Okay, drop down into the shoulder girdle. Let your shoulder blades come together. Drop your head. Let your head touch the mat if you can. Let your belly drop. Let touch your ribs to the mat. Pull the mat apart with your elbows first. Then push into the knuckles of the hands. Then keep pulling apart. Engage your serratus. Pick your ribs back up with that pulling apart action. That horizontal pulling wide on your mat feeling. Should help you feel the muscles underneath the armpits. Stay up there. Drop the head deeper, but don't lose that pressure in elbows. And then pick your ribs up higher by lifting low belly a little. Low belly will lift pelvic bowl up. Tailbone will consequently drop down, but it's not because you're squeezing glutes and pushing forward. If anything, this arc is very long. Your low belly picking up and back, away from ribs going up and forward. Head drops. Open the toes into the mat. Turn your heels in a little bit. So inner foot's trying to touch the mat. And then start slowly sitting back. You're only going to go about halfway back. Hold. Drop your head further back through your arms. Suck the ribs up higher. Heels hug in on the mat. Knees hug in on the mat. That should engage the groin, the low belly, the adductors. And then let go of that squeeze. Start dropping the hips back further. Keep your elbows stuck to the mat. See how long the muscles in the sides of the body and the back can get as you sit back. Take a breath here. If your forehead can touch the ground, let it. Some more slow, long, even breaths. Get some of that energy and blood flow you've created in the body. One more long, soft breath. And when I say long, I mean 3 to 5 counts. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, calm. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Calm, even. No rushing. Okay, bring your head up, look forward. Spread your fingers out. Grab the mat with the knuckles. Flatten all the fingers. Pull back on the mat with your elbows. That comes from your serratus. Shoulders wide. Pull the mat apart with your elbows. Slowly coming forward. Feel the core engaged. Feel your upper body. Prepared to take the weight this time. Shoulders past elbows. Way past elbows. I don't care if your foreheads can touch the ground. Come forward. Then push your elbows and hands. Bring your ribs up. When you're that far forward, it's a lot slimmer chance you're going to use the neck. Suck the belly up. And then sit back. Last time. Sit back as deep as you can. Keep the elbows stuck forward. Find your breath. Inhale long and soft. Exhale longer. Good. Bring your elbows together. As close together as you can. Hands may touch, thumbs may touch, fingers spread. Try to push the mat forward with your hands. Drop your head back through your arms. Fit it into your biceps and see if your hips will drop back a little further. Breathe. Pull the mat apart with elbows again. Suck the ribs back. It's almost an internal thought. It's barely perceptible from the outside. Drop your forehead into the mat, and then let that go. Good. Walk your elbows back to where you are.
Keep your hips up far back. However far back you got them, keep them there. How are we doing? Good.
All right, elbows should be almost even with knees. Elbows a little bit in. Pull back on the mat with elbows to shift your body forward a little bit. The knees want to go wider left. Okay, shoulders are then going to slide up the sides of the ribs. So it's not just body forward. Now it's shoulder blades separate from ribs and shoulders come forward, drop your head. Good. This should help you engage your chest. Push through elbow tips, the bottom of the elbows. You almost can pick your hands up. Suck the middle abs up and try to round from the middle abs between rib cage and pelvis. Once you're rounded up, pull elbows apart on the mat. Drop head deeper. Okay, you're going to flatten it back out. Let the hips reach back as ribs reach forward. Come straight back down. Okay, do that one more time. Really come forward. Shoulders slide forward. So if you're confused about that, look up here. You're going to keep your core a little up and a little engaged. Drop the head. Keep some pressure in elbows. Then slide the shoulders forward. Keeping the collarbone coming toward each other. Keep pressure in elbow tips. Pull mat apart. That should engage your chest. Now push through elbows to pick up ribs. Low belly lifts, and that's what makes tail drop. Now stay like that. Inhale. Exhale till you feel your ribs start to close. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. Push through elbows, more hold. Lift your low belly more. Hug heels in, hug knees in. Then pressing through elbows, start letting hips sit back. Keep this shape in the spine. Okay, now let the heels go, let the knees go, let your hips release. Try to sit a little deeper between the legs. Good. All right, and then let your chest drop back down into shoulder girdle. Pull back on the mat, shifting your weight into your upper body again. Last one like this. Your goal is to sit the hips deeper each time and to feel a bunch of stuff going on in your core. Here we go. Stay forward. You're leaning your forehead toward the mat. Maybe even put it there. And then slide shoulders up. That'll pick head up if it was down. Push your elbows, suck belly in. Drop head. Elbows pull them out apart. Heels hug in, knees hug in, low belly lifts higher. Then let that go. Let your sitting bones come apart. Let hips go. Sit back. Let the hips drop to the mat. Keep pressure in elbows to keep sitting you back further. Press through knees a little bit. Suck the belly back more. And then let that go. Leaning forward. Good. Walk your elbows forward again. See if you can widen your knees on your mat or onto the floor. Okay. Stay on the elbows. Bring them far enough forward so they're in front of your chest, in front of your ribs, so you can drop the belly down in between. Hips up. Hips up. Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. Walk your elbows. Walk your elbows. Walk. There you go. Now, think of your hips as reaching back. Elbows pushing forward softly without tail tucking. The minute your tail tucks, you're done. So come forward enough that you can let the belly hang, let the ribs hang, let the hips hang. Once your pelvic bowl is aimed down, now you can start pressing back into your stretch. Until the pelvic bowl is aimed down, no. Drop the head. Good. Breathe. When you find your stretch, live in it. You can open the toes out to the sides, inner feet on the mat if you want to deepen it, or if you just want to feel a different angle on the stretch. Breathe. Okay, let's move through it. Come forward, elbows pulling back, shoulders way past elbows. Push down through elbows to pick your ribs up. Slide the shoulders forward, elbows pulling out, drop your head. That'll get you into the chest. Suck the belly up a little more. Good, keep inner feet down, heels down. And then drop your hips to the mat first, then belly, then let ribs drop, shoulders roll back. Do that one more time. Push through elbows, pick it up. Shoulders forward, elbows pull out, low belly sucks up, drop head. Then let hips go first, then belly, then shoulders back, ribs drop. You're going to change that up a little. Push through elbows, pick it up. Lift low belly, drop tail under a little. Sit back an inch or two. Hold. Okay. Now roll through the hips. Pubic bone reaching back. Belly to the mat. Ribs dropping all the way as deep as you can. Hold in your stretch. Good. So come out of it, come forward. Bring feet in, tuck toes, lift knees. Or you can just walk it back. Good. You feel the front of the hips there? Yeah? Okay, sit back on the heels, leave the arms out in front. Make sure you're long enough, so walk your elbows forward if you need a bigger stretch, so that when your ribs touch your thighs, you do feel a pull in your sides. Sitting bones still reach back, let your head drop. Breathe.
support blocks on third level. Good. Bring your right foot forward between your blocks. Okay, and then you're going to tuck your left toes, work the left knee back until you have a nice long position between them and your hips can drop down. Crescent. Okay. Keep that back hip forward, so don't let your front hip roll in, knee roll in. Keep the front knee open a little and back hip forward. Sit down as deep as you can. Good, blocks back by the heel. Push through the back foot to lift the back knee up. You can lean forward. Good, push through the front leg to bring it back. Try to drop your chest down into the shoulder girdle. Pull your shoulders away from ears from serratus and chin in, back of the neck parallel to the ceiling. Hug your right hip back a little bit more. So left hip dropping forward. Then go the other way. Push through the right foot. Roll to the inner arch of the foot. Push through that foot with a straight leg. Roll your left hip open to face forward. Then think of inner spiraling the left leg, outer spiraling the right leg. Drop your left hip forward. Do it again. Push through the front foot. Roll to inner arch of front foot. Roll the hip open. And then roll the left hip forward again. Good. Bend the front knee, keeping left hip rolled forward. See how far down you can sit that left hip. Keep the back foot strong. Good. Slowly lower the knee to the mat. Good. You can come over the toes, or if you think you're going to try to stand in a second, keep the toes tucked. It's up to you. Right hand to the leg. Push the leg forward a little bit. Bring your body back. Suck your belly back away from the knee, and you should feel like your foot puts a little extra pressure, shifting mat forward to suck the belly back. Good. And then sit back into your crescent all the way down. Let your hips go. Do that again. You can keep your hands on blocks if you need to. You can interlace fingers, put elbows wide. It may help. Push into your knee. That helps you feel the foot ground more. Suck your low belly back. Good. Low belly lifts up out of the hip. No squeezing sitting bones together. Now feel like your front foot and back knee are pulling toward each other. Suck the belly up into the back. Elbows forward and open, ribs back. Go round it upper back. More. Lift your low belly more. More. And exhale to look like it's under. Yeah. Good. Now drop back forward. Let your back hip drop. Feel your front foot pull you deeper into the stretch. Okay, right hand pushes the right leg across. Bring elbow to knee for a twist. Hands in prayer. Press your right hand into your left hand a little bit. Back hand into front hand to help you twist deeper. Keep dropping into that stretch. If you want to push your back toes and lift the back leg up, you can. Breathe. The weight is in your front foot. Your knee should come forward more past your toes. Your knee come forward. You may need to come down and bring that front foot back a little. There we go. Breathe. You want the weight in the toes, the ball of the foot, not the heel. The muscles in the foot live in the metatarsals. Not so much in the heel. There's no balance there. Put your back knee down if you are up. Let that back shoulder come forward further, really opening shoulder blades. Then push into right hand, twist deeper. And come out of your twist. Good job. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, press through the front leg. That should feel good. Okay, press through the back toes to lift the heel up. Drop your chest down into shoulder girdle. Roll the hip open again. Roll to inner arch of front foot, outer spiral left foot. Drop that heel in and down. Your heels should be on the same plane. Okay, heel to heel alignment here. Bring your blocks inside the right foot. Now notice if your right sitting bone is trying to come out toward the ear and you're really crunching up the right ribs and the right side. Let's take that the other way. Think of your right hip hugging back toward the left heel and your right shoulder coming a little forward. So you're getting long on the right side. Take your right block further forward. See how far you can reach. Let the left elbow bend. Take that block as far forward as you can. Keep the hip back and legs straight. Breathe. Bring it back up. Keep your triangle feet. Bring the left arm up over the chest. Good job. Take the back heel further back. Lift the toes up. Engage that back foot. Roll to the outer foot. Let your hips lean back further. Roll to the inner foot. Pick up the outer foot. Bring the toes down, grab the mat, bend your front knee. Bring the back arm straight back. Push through the front leg, pop it up. Good. Roll the front knee back. Roll to the inner back foot. Lift your low belly up. Good. Let your tail drop. Not because you're trying to squeeze sitting bones together. Good luck with that here. That's not going to work. Let the sitting bones open. Good. Shift your weight back. Reach the back arm back. Good. And then shift it forward. Now drop the front hip under more. Good. Do it again. Bring the front hip forward by bending the front knee. Shift your weight back. Ribs back.
Shift it forward, watch the front hip go into your front heel to direct the hip back. Straighten the front leg, come as long as you can. Come down either to your block or to the floor. Full triangle. Good job. Okay. Bend the front knee. Try to connect the front elbow or shoulder with the front knee. Roll the shoulder back to pin the knee back. Bring the top arm forward, drop your hips deeper. Breathe. Bring it back up. Hands back to the block. Block straighten the front foot. Spin onto the toes of the back foot. Drop it back down into your lunge. Good job. How are we doing? Get the back leg down. Blocks away. Arms inside the front foot. Try to come down to elbows. Maybe you need blocks. So your elbows can be on blocks here. Try to keep the knee close to you this time. So not the turned out lizard. We bend it and keep the knee close. Drop the hip back. Pull back on the mat with elbows to try to bring your ribs forward. Or hands. I know. Bring it back up. Good. Keep it on your hands. Shift your weight into your left hand. Ground blocks, fine. And see if you can reach back with your right hand for a little twist. Maybe that's all you do. Maybe you just stay there. If you can stay forward enough on the left knee, you can pull the foot up. Once you have the foot, lean into your left hand more. Even if you don't have the foot, lean into the left hand. You can pull your foot in deeper if you got that. Let it go. Good. Bring the blocks back. Tuck the back toes. Bring the back leg up. Front leg back. Step back into high plank. Good. Push into the thumb side of the hand. Pick your ribs up. Reach through the feet a little bit. Good. Bring your left knee in. Step the foot in between. Inside the blocks go. Drop the back hip down. Good. Bring it right back up again. Push through the front leg. Drop chest down into shoulder girdle, chin and neck in line with the spine. Push through the back toes. Roll to the inner arch of your front foot, big toe side of the foot, and then start opening your right hip back. Then inner spiral right leg, outer spiral left leg to bring the right hip forward. Good, roll it open. So it's like you're going to roll the front of the right hip into the left groin. Inner spiral right leg, outer spiral left foot, roll forward, and then roll it back. Last one, inner spiral right, outer left. Keep the left toes down though. Bend the front knee, keep that right hip forward as you drop the hip down. Try to keep the back leg fairly straight. Back toes strong. Good, breathe. And then you can put the back knee down. Keep toes tucked if you think you may lift. Good, bring both hands to your left knee, fingers facing in. They can interlace if you want, elbows out. Right, so your lat attaches from low back to the humerus. So we want to open the back. Push with hands. You want to feel that front foot ground into the mat. Then you're going to keep elbows forward, suck ribs back, lift low belly back. And then let that go, drop the hip back into the mat a little deeper. Then do it again. Press through hands. Elbows wide, ribs come back into shoulder girdle. Suck your low belly back. It should feel like front foot's pulling back, back knees pulling forward. Okay, then let the hips go, drop deeper into it. Let yourself sit into that back hip more. Last one, press through hands. Suck the low belly back, breathe, inhale here. Exhale, let it go, sit deeper. Good, left hand pushes your knee right, right elbow to left knee, twisting. Your back knee should be at least over the heel, if not further forward over the toes. Push your left arm into the right. Let your right shoulder come up and forward a little. Twist the other way. No, twist your body toward the back mirror. There you go. All right, breathe. Left hand pushes into right a little bit. Pick your ribs up. Keep the back hip drop forward as you do that. Gotta have pressure from elbow to knee. Get that elbow under the knee. There you go. That's your pressure. This hand pushing into the front, pulls the ribs back. If you want to stand, push into the back leg. Keep the twist. Keep that back hip drop forward. And then bring the back knee down. Good job. Bring your hands back to your blocks. Very nice. Push into the back foot. Bring it up. Drop your chest into shoulder girdle. Drop the head. Sitting bone reaching back. Spin the back heel in. You should end up with heel to heel alignment. Front heel even with back heel. Bring your left block inside the foot. Good job. Okay, and reach your left block further forward. At the same time, hug your left hip back. So think of your hip, right hip going to the right. to help you hug your left hip back. And then reach that left arm further away, flattening the ribs down to the leg. You should feel a pretty good hamstring stretch here. Breathe. The right arm can bend or come to the ground. And bring it back. Good. Block right under the shoulder, bring the right arm up. Triangle, support it. Drop your chest into that bottom shoulder girdle, pull the shoulder out of the ear, and pull your bottom hip back here. So you want to feel like you're really putting a lot of weight in the front foot by shifting your sitting bones back. So let's crunch up the bottom side, flex the serratus intercostals obliques on your left side to pick it up, and then let that go. Drop it back down again, hips back. Good, okay? Bend the front leg, and then bring it back. Hip going back, keep the hip going back as far as you can. Good job. Reach through the back arm. One more time, bend the front knee. I want to see this bottom sitting bone continue back. Now straighten the leg back. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Hip dropping back. Good. So when you bend that front knee, it lets you get a little deeper and longer in the left rib. When you straighten back, I want you to keep that same length on the bottom side. Good. All right, bend the front knee. Bring your arm down to the ground if you've got a deeper stretch. And shoulder and knee connect. If you're on blocks, level 1, 2, or 3, something higher on the arm or lower on the arm will connect. Whatever connects with bottom leg, left arm, the arm pushes the knee back a little bit. At the same time, the back hip comes forward a little, arm over your head. Stretch. All the way from that back foot through the top hand. Breathe. Chin in, get on your neck. Chin in there, more. More. There. Down. Drop your head down to the floor. That's it. Let your hand go. Don't reach so hard with fingers. There we go. Good. Bring the arm up, straighten the front leg back. Good job. Last one. Bend the front knee forward. Bring your right hip forward. Left shoulder back, left knee back. Reach through that top arm over your head. And then bring the hips back. Good. Bend the front knee, come back to your block, and lift it up to warrior 2. Good. How are we doing? A lot of work today. I see a little bit of shaking. Bend the front knee. Back heel is behind the toes a little bit. Roll to the inner arch of that back foot, lift the outer foot, and then roll to the outer foot. Roll back to the middle, more to the inner foot though, and then drop the front knee deeper. Good? Okay. Shift your ribs back to the back hand, and then forward again. Good. Straighten front leg. Same thing, shift your ribs back, drop that back hip down. Then shift them forward as long as you can, hips go back, reach your hand for your block. Good. Deepening that back hip back feeling. Good. And bring your hands down. Spin to the toes of the back foot. Blocks frame the front foot again. Bend the front knee. Keep your left hip dropping forward. Try to drop that hip toward the mat. And then you can put the knee down slowly with control. Move blocks aside. And either bring elbows to blocks on first or second level or bring elbows to the floor. Whatever you've got. Make sure your front knee's passing the heel a little further back with that. Yeah, there you go. Just lean forward, actually. That was good. Okay, breathe. Elbows are inside the left leg. Head is dropped. Let the neck release. One more breath. Bring it up to hands. And then reach back with your left arm, twisting toward the bent leg. Open the hand. Maybe that's where you live. Drop into your right hand more. Let that right hip drop forward. If that's easy enough, you can pull the back foot up and bring the foot up. You got to keep the right hip forward. If your right hip goes back, that's the hip flexors engaging, and that's what you're trying to stretch. That's going to be bad. You got to drop the hip forward. So that means you may not be pulling the foot. You may just be here right now working on letting the hip drop. All right, bring it back. Blocks frame the foot. Tuck the back toes, pick it up. Step it back to your high plank. Bend the knees first. Good. Bring your blocks back to second level. Step your left foot way out in front. Slide it forward. Roll right hip forward, left hip back here. Good, and then roll it open with the back knee on the ground. Roll it closed again, right hip forward. Roll it open with the back knee on the ground. Roll it forward. Okay, that's what you're going to do in the air. Now push through the back leg. Keep it rolled forward. Bend both knees. Drop down into shoulder girdle. Okay. Breathe. Now you can put the back knee down if you want to keep rolling that hip forward. Bend the elbows if you want to deepen it. Bring it back up. Slide the front leg back. Underneath. Good. Bring the left foot forward. Slide out in front. Bend the knee. See what it feels like to drop the hip to that front knee a little bent. Good.
through the back hip. Straighten the front leg if you want. Open the hip out to the side. Left hip faces open. Left hip forward, right hip back. Do it again. Open the hip. Left hip forward, right hip back. Last one, open. Left hip forward. Keep that. Bend the front knee. Reach through the back knee a little. Keep your left hip forward. That's the goal. Get a baby bend in elbows. Shoulders roll back a little. Drop deeper. Good job, guys. Put the back knee down. Slide the front foot back. Good. Take your blocks out in front to third level if you have that for your baby down dog. Knees are pretty far back. Hands spread across the blocks. Fingers open. Elbows hug in and down. Drop your head through your arms. Your forehead has to rest on a surface. If it doesn't, either put a block under your head or bring your blocks to second level and do it from there. You should feel chest, shoulders, upper back. Breathe. Knees should be far enough back that ribs are not resting on them. You gotta be willing to put some weight into the forehead. One more breath here. Think of rolling back on the head, pulling back on the mat with your hips, your knees kind of push forward, roll to the back corner of your blocks. Bend your elbows a little bit, keeping pressure in your blocks. And then reach back forward with blocks, keep hips reaching back. Good. Lift your low belly, push your hands, bring it up. Walk forward. Good job. Block sideways. And turn around and face the other way. All 5 fingers on your blocks, with fingers facing forward. Or on the floor. If blocks are too deep, your hands can just go to the mat. Blocks will give you more height and a deeper stretch. Okay. Keep all 5 fingers on the block, so don't hang fingers off the front. That kills part of the stretch. Pinky on the inside of the block, or pinky on the outside, thumb on the inside. So you're really spreading metacarpals. Keep pressure in hands. Feet a little bit, well, feet pretty close to hips for now. Take your hips up, bring your tail under. So your hips come to your heels. And now instead of sitting up on top of the tailbone, you're more on the back of it. Shoulders roll forward. Shoulders have to be in front of hands, so hips further forward. A little more, pick them up, bring forward. Yeah, deep is stretch, but it also gives you the right angle. Good. Keeping the shoulders rolled forward. Keep pressure in your hands so you stay in front of them. Keep elbows wide, like you're pulling your shoulder blades apart on the back by spinning toward the thumb side of the hand. The wider the elbows go, the more the shoulder heads roll forward, the bigger the space in the back of the rib cage to drop back. So you don't lean back by rolling shoulders back and going into neck and dying. You keep your shoulders forward, then you bend the elbows wide to try to drop ribs deeper into shoulder girdle. Make sure hips aren't holding one way or the other. Low belly sucks back, hips release. Now just roll hips forward. Stay heavy on the tailbone. And then low belly sucks back. Do it again. Stay heavy on the tail. And then low belly sucks back. Good. Keep hips totally loose there. Push into your hands until they go straight or almost straight. Shoulder heads really forward. Base of the hand will probably have to lift because you will feel a stretch in the hand. Keep the shoulders rolled forward. Now roll heavy on the tailbone all the way to the front of the sitting bones. Once you're there, then roll the shoulders back. Big stretch in hands, wrists, forearms. Good. Then roll shoulders forward as hips roll back. Drop the head in. Bend the elbows out to the side. You should feel like your hands are pulling the blocks to the back of the ribs to the blocks. You get enough? Breathe. Toes down. Hips release. Good. Roll forward on your tailbone. And then roll back. Just checking in like that. Push through the hands to bring it up. Roll to the top of sitting bones. Roll your shoulders back. Chin in. Roll shoulders forward, hips roll back, bend the elbows out to the side. Sit deeper. Good. Bring your ribs to the right. Really sit on top of that right hand with right shoulder. Reach the right elbow back. Bring knees to the left, lifting outer arch of the right foot. You can cross left ankle halfway down the right shin if you want to pull further across. Think of the right hip reaching forward for the right heel once you're there. Yeah. Switch legs. You have the knees the right way, now pull across the hip. There you go, that's your twist. Good.
Press the leg, bring it back. Take your ribs to the other side. Really put that shoulder over the elbow, elbow reaching back, shoulder over the hand, excuse me. Knees go to the right, lift the outer foot. And then your left leg crosses over the right knee or shin to pull further into the twist. Left leg over right, yeah. And then once you got a little pull there, reach the left hip forward more. And bring it back. Good. Push through the hands to come up. Come all the way to fingers. And then roll forward. Knuckles to the mat, palms facing in. Good. If you want to go to a full bridge on the knuckles, roll shoulders back, lift hips up. If that's not you today, no worries, just put some weight into the knuckles. And then flatten out, 10 fingers. Bend the fingers back, knuckles forward. Yeah, put a little bit of weight into that. Not much. And roll down to your hand. Good. Last one here, fingers facing back on the blocks. This will be shorter, hips under, and then we get to lay down. I promise. Roll your shoulders forward, bend your elbows back. In that order. So roll your shoulders forward first. You have to keep that when elbows bend back, and it doesn't want to stay. There's opposing muscles working against each other there, which creates length in the shoulder. What wants to happen is when your elbows bend, your shoulder want to roll back and just give up the stretch. Don't do that. Roll shoulders forward, suck belly back, bend elbows back. Trust your hands. Put weight into your hands. Feel the thumb knuckle nearest the wrist, and pull your elbows wider. That's it. Breathe. Chin in. Push into the hands to straighten the arms. Don't use hips. Roll all the way to the sitting bones. Roll your shoulders back. Outer spiral the arms so your biceps face out. Maybe you can bend elbows back in toward each other. Good. Re-straighten arms if they're bent. Roll shoulders forward. Roll hips back. Chin in. Bend your elbows like you're pulling the hands to the back of the ribs, back of the ribs to the hands. Shoulders are forward, elbows are wide. Just one more. Inhale here. Exhale, soften the ribs. Push into your hands. Roll to the front of the sitting bones. Roll the shoulders back. Outer spiral arms. Maybe bend elbows in. Re-straighten arms. Roll forward. Hips roll back. Chin in. Bend your elbows back. Pulling the blocks to your ribs. The ribs to your blocks. Good. And come on up. Hands to the mat again. Tuck the fingers under. Good. Just the left hand. Try to bring the back of the hand to the mat. Spreading from up the fingers. Make a fist if you can. It'll be hard. Open it up. Come to the knuckles. And then flatten it out. Either way, forward or back, whatever feels good. Other hand, back of the hand to the mat. Spread from thumb to pinky. Try to straighten the arm a little bit at the same time. It'll deepen the stretch. Close the hand. Open it up. Roll to the knuckles. And flatten it out. Good. Get rid of your blocks. Actually, keep one block. We'll put it at the top of the mat. Get rid of the other block. Grab the orange bolster. Bolster under the legs. Red ball under the spine. Bring your purple balls next to you and your strap. I don't know if we'll have time for the strap, but the strap. Okay. Alright, so you're going to start with your block on third level at the top of the mat, ball up against the low back, and then take it like a half roll back, lean back on it so it's under your floating ribs. When your arms come up and your shoulder blades pull back, they should be able to come off the back of the ball a little bit. And then you put your head on your block. Okay? Once you got all that lined up, then pull your bolster up to your hips. Don't let it touch the legs, just bring it close. And then lift your hips and bring your tailbone under. So your low back is turned under. Your low back is a little rounded here. Tail under. Okay? Then let your legs drop. Let's grab one purple ball, bring it up. Hold it in the base of the hands. Drop your shoulder blades down over the red ball. Chin in. Let the block pull away to the head. Inhale. As you exhale, slide the shoulder blades off the back. Chin up. Reach the arms to the ceiling. Let your hips release. No tucking. Let that go. Drop it back down. Your hands should be right over your face. That ball is a little higher than your eyes. Back and shoulders drop straight down. Inhale, inhale. Exhale, bring it back up. Bridge, start to softly pull into the ball. hips release, and then drop it back down again. Inhale with it, drop down, let your ribs open. Start your exhale first until you start feeling a very soft draw in your ribs. Then start sliding the shoulder blades up, chin up, back of the ribs heavy into your red ball, hips release. And then drop the shoulders back down. Good. Put a baby bend in your elbows, hug them in. Drop your hands back. Let the weight of the ball stretch you. Let your head be heavy in your block. Your chin drops into your own neckline. Let the ribs open more. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, use your serratus, pulling shoulder blades together toward the ball and bring the ball back up. Don't reach it to the ceiling. When you're all the way at the top, then slide shoulder blades up, ball to the ceiling. Now, outer spiral arms, so biceps face your face. Reach through your thumbs. They should be like little parallel lines rolling the ball forward. And as you lift higher, drop the hands forward. As the hands drop forward, feel like your hands are pulling the ball apart horizontally wide. Keep shoulders high. That's collarbone folding in. Pecs engaged. Then find middle abs. Don't tuck. Bring your head up. Middle abs should feel like you're pulling on your ribs. Slide your shoulder blades forward. And then slide shoulder blades back. Lean into your red ball. Don't try to roll up. Slide shoulder blades forward. Hands are low. Hands are really low. Push your chest. Slide shoulder blades back. Last one. Slide shoulder blades forward. Feel middle abs. No tucking hips. Release hips. Slide shoulder blades back. Hold. Lean back. And then start laying back over the block. Chin down, neck long. Shoulder blades fall. Arms drop all the way back. You should feel a good neck stretch. You should feel ribs coming up out of the front of the hips too. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the ball with the hands, fingers. Pull the elbows out to the sides, bending elbows sideways until the ball comes toward your block. So pull straight out to the sides of the elbows. Bend your arms more. Look up here if you're lost. Keep bending, Gina. There you go. Once your ball's touching your block, or maybe the top of your head, bring elbows up to the ceiling. Feel how that wraps the radius and shoulder blades around the sides. Drop the elbows open, feel shoulder blades come together. Keep weight in the neck, keep weight in the chin, and keep weight in the head, chin down. One more time, elbows up. Keeping elbows up, now start reaching the ball back. Try to keep it close to the ground as you reach it back. And then bring it all the way back up. Once it's right above your face, slide shoulder blades off the back. Outer spiral arms, biceps face ceiling, thumbs reach. Drop the arms forward, really drop down. Squish your own chest. And middle abs draw, little hips release, glutes release. And roll it up, round. Reach the ball forward, suck the belly back. Stay in your red ball. A little higher, maybe. A little higher, a little higher, a little higher. Arms lower. Suck the belly back more. There's your round. Chin in more, head forward more. That's it, much better. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
Now keeping the chest high, pecs engaged. Slide shoulders back. Good, then bring it forward. Keep shoulders high. Bring it back. You're going to bring it forward further. There you go. Bring it back. Feel the core. Bring it forward further. Feel the difference? Bring it all the way back. Good job. All right, let's get rid of the ball. One hand under the head. Get rid of the block with the other hand. Push your ball to about 2 to 3 inches forward. And then put the hips about 2 to 3 inches forward, right against the ball. So you're just barely moving forward on your ball. Hands behind the head one more time. Elbows in your peripheral vision. Interlace fingers and feel like your base of your hand clamps in on the skull. Okay, so both hands are engaged and then elbows in forward. Now let your hips release. You don't need to be that high. Let it go. Lean into your ball. Okay, keep your elbows in your peripheral vision. Keep pulling the hands forward on the head like you're stretching the neck. Hands should go a little higher on the back of the head. And then slide shoulder blades to the radius up and forward. Keep leaning back into your ball. Keep the head pushed forward, head pushing back into hands. Keeping that pressure in hands and head, slide shoulders back down to the ball. Not back to the neck, that's going to crunch it. Straight down to the earth, down to your ball. Then bring them forward and up. Then bring them straight down to the earth. You're trying to keep serratus engaged here. Then start laying back with that neck stretch. Let your ribs open. Shoulder blades squeezing into the ball. Lay back as far as you can, ribs opening. And then bring just your head up first. Hands pull the head, serratus are the agent of movement. And when the head is up pretty far, then start drawing those middle abs back in. Keep hips released, rounding into yourself. And then reach the Shoulder blades forward, suck middle abs back, no tucking. Pubic bone is forward. Slide shoulders down to your right ball. Shoulder blades pinch into the ball. Keeping your neck stretched, lay back. Shoulder blades should feel like they're stabbing into your ball. Lifting ribs up and over that. And then bring just the head up first from serratus. Shoulder blades into your ball like a wedge. And then pull the core in a little bit, rounding forward into yourself. Good. And let that go. Push the bolster much further forward. Much further forward. Feet go to the bolster. Feet are really wide. And then lift your hips up. Roll forward till the ball is just under your upper back. Almost up to the neck. Take your bolster far enough forward so that it's easy for you to move your hips on the mat. Further forward. Good. So you should have like a foot and a half between your sitting bones and your feet. Hands behind your head, hands high, elbows in so you can see them. Little pressure from hands to head. Reach the pubic bone forward softly. And then use your middle abs pulling back to pull the middle back to the mat. Then let that go. Reach the pubic bone forward softly. Make sure you're rolling on the tailbone. Hips have to move here. Then pull your middle abs back to roll back. Now notice if you're squeezing glutes too. Let that go. Reach the pubic bone forward. Now try toes in, heels out a little like your pigeon toe. Let your knees drop in a little, but don't squeeze them in, just wherever they happen to drop to. Your hips are real open, they may drop all the way to touch. Okay, now pull your low belly back. Think of your knees as reaching forward and away, just softly, and then let that go. One more time, low belly draws back. Don't squeeze glutes, lift the toes up. Good, now drop the hips back forward. Knees may have to open to drop all the way forward. Good. Bring the right elbow out to the right on your mat. Actually, let's do left first so you can see it. Left elbow out to the left. Keep your elbow back a little bit to help open the serratus. Lean out into that elbow. So you're going to try to roll on your ball until your left ribs are coming real close to the mat. Okay, keep feet wide. Now lift the outer arch of your left foot. Your foot should be all the way to the left edge of your bolster. Drop your left knee in toward your center line, down to the right side. That's that inner knee stretch, hip stretch. Okay. Use your hand to push the head forward, or if you feel your neck, let yourself lay back. That right shoulder blade is on your ball. Bring the hand further behind the head, like you're wrapping the hand around the head. Let your head rest on your forearm. Let this space open between rib and hip. Reach the knee forward, hip forward. There we go. You guys feel it up? Okay. Yeah, feel it up? Yeah. Once you have that space, with the right serratus, forearm pushes head up. Don't try to crunch core. Core is open. Keep it open. You bring your right foot to the floor. That makes it easier. Keep that right knee in. It'll help you drop low belly. Once the head is up, bring the head back to the right with your right hand a little bit. Keep leaning left with the ribs. Reaching forward with the knees. So everything's coming apart here. You should feel like you're twisting around one half of the body. Breathe. Lay back over the red ball. One more time. Reach the knee further forward. Reach the hip. Oh, go. Yes. And then let the reach go a little. Keep the right knee in. Pull the head up with the strength of the serratus. Just elbow push or forearm pushing in the head. Let your ribs release. And bring it back up. Good. Bring the right foot back to your bolster. Second side. If you want to eliminate having to use your head at all, just roll further forward on your ball so your head can rest on the ball. And that's fine too. Alright, second side. Right elbow way out to the right. Slide out. Okay? And then heel toe your right foot to the right side of your bolster, all the way, almost hanging that pinky side of your foot off the edge. Then lift the pinky side of the foot, inner foot still in the bolster, and then reach the right knee across your center line to the left and forward. The forward is important. You can bring the left foot to the mat, that's fine. And then turn it out a little bit, turn your toes out. Keep the left knee in, reach the right knee forward. So your left knee is a boundary, don't let it fall left too far. Good. Lay back over your red ball for a minute. Let that left shoulder blade be supported. Remember, bring the whole forearm under the head like your palm in a basketball. Fingers wrap all the way around to the right side of the head. That's what's holding head up. Let it lay back. Reach the right hip forward, knee forward, make space. And if you feel like you got that space there and you want to go deeper, left forearm pushing into head, serratus engaging, let the ribs drop. Keep that hip and knee reaching forward. Your left hand pulls your head back to the left, even though your ribs are leaning further and further right. If your left knee stays in the low belly, pull out of the hip deeper. And bring it back up. You getting this? Any questions? All right, let's hop it forward one more time. This time, put your head on your ball. And then you're either going to do the same thing, roll a little further left with your objection. We have to pick them up and move them left on the mat. And then lift the outer left foot, drop the knee across. Maybe that's where you live. If you want to deepen it, you'll take the foot off the bolster, put inner arch against the corner, then drop the knee forward. If you want to deepen it even more, you're just going to take the foot and pull it all the way back on the mat. Put it under you. Okay, so those are your degrees. I think you can get that foot back. Best way to do it is make sure you get all the way to the toes. If your toes feel like they have to turn under for you, then a lot of times people get cramps in their feet. You hold the toes and pull back. You're good. Okay, wherever you are, ribs go further left. Okay, and then let's go ahead and drop the right knee open this time with the right foot right in the corner of the bolster. Okay, breathe. If you want to deepen it, you can take the right hand behind the head and pick the head up and lean it back. Wherever you're at, breathe. You can also take both arms back behind your right bone, reach that way, reaching the left knee further forward. That'll be in the middle. Okay, bring the right knee back up, your ribs back to the middle. Pressure into the red ball helps you do that. Pull the left foot out of the stretch. Good. Okay, second side. You're going to move the ribs to the right. So you can use your elbows and pressure in your head to pick them up and move them right. Right elbow out to the side. You can, first level would be heel toe right, foot all the way to the right, drop the knee across, move the left foot to the floor. Second level, a little deeper, is put your inner right foot on the floor, right up against your bolster, and drop the knee forward and start working the foot back a little more to you. Third level is just take the foot, tuck it all the way back, knee forward, full quad stretch. Okay. And then heel toe your left foot out to the side of the bolster, turn that knee out, let it open. Keep reaching the right knee forward. You can either bring the head up and drop the ribs down to deepen it, or you can reach arms back, reach the hip forward. Breathe. Let that go. And the arms up if you want. Just play with your arm position, whatever helps you feel your core here. So your low belly's drawn narrow away from the front of the hips and up. Underground. You could just reach right arm back. Bring the left leg back up. Bring the right leg out. Good. You guys feel front of the hips all the way down to your inner knee on that. Hopefully wrapping around the right side of the ribs. Yeah, good. All right, pull your bolster up to your hips. Lift your hips, put the hips on the bolster, keeping the red ball under the head and neck. But your ball should be far enough back that your forehead and face are decidedly facing forward. It should be really hard for you to look up at the mirror on the ceiling. That should be almost impossible at this point. That mirror is now obsolete. The ball is back far enough that your head is forward. The bolster's under the hips far enough, too, that you've got your pelvis all the way up on that bolster. Try to get the bolster way up on the hips. Okay, bring your arms up to the ceiling. Your shoulder blades should still be able to touch the floor. If they can't, you probably need your red ball further back under the head. And bring the legs in one at a time. Arms inside the legs, hands under the heels. Turn your feet out to the sides, flex the toes back, so feet are active. Reach heels up into your hands. That's going to bring you a little bit higher and bring your hips forward touch. Bring your forearms against calves, not elbows inside, even if you've got that deep stretch in the hips. Let the right leg go. Keep your left heel reaching softly up into the left hand. Drop the right arm back. Push into the red ball with your head a little bit. And really reach through the right side. Keep your left heel reaching up into the left hand. That is part of your leverage. Keep your left forearm pushing out on the calf. Inhaling. As you exhale, bring the right arm up. Let your ribs drop a little deeper into the mat. Soften your left side. Don't squish the left ribs together. Breathe. Release your left glute. If you want to go deeper, you can straighten up that burn. And bring it back in. Right hand under right heel. Flex the toes, both feet back. Reach the heel into the hand. Bicep of the right arm pulling back down. So keep a little flexion in your right elbow. Let the left leg go, left arm dropping back. A little pressure into red ball with head. I don't care if ribs lift off the mat a little. Reach your left leg forward. Keep that right heel reaching into right hand. Breathe. As you exhale, try to feel your low belly soften down away from the front of that left hip. Keep reaching through your left big toe. Don't just let the knee hang there. Actually reach. Engage that foot. Okay, keep the right elbow bent. Inhale again. As you exhale, bring your left arm up. Let your ribs drop down into the mat. Spread your left fingers from thumb to pinky. Let your right shoulder roll up a little toward the ceiling. Let those right ribs go. They don't need to get crushed. Breathe. You've got a bigger stretch. You can reach right heel further, but release the glute. Don't feel like that right groin is trying to tuck behind your right ribs a little. One more breath. And bring it back. Good. Bring one foot at a time to the mat. Get rid of your red ball. Should feel good to lay flat. Pull your orange bolster as high up the back as you can, so your tailbone can hang off the front of the bolster a little bit. If you feel anything in your low back on this next one, then bring your bolster down so your tailbone's not hanging so much. Your elbows are out to the sides, your hands hug around the bolster. Okay? Heel toe your feet wide, but keep your heels close to you. Lift the outer arch of both feet. You're going to drop the right knee in and down across your midline. Keep your left knee in too. Keep the left knee in too. Don't let the knee drop away. There it is. And then you're going to switch. As your left knee drops down, your knees graze past each other. Lifting the outer left foot. Slowly switch. Right knee grazing past the left to the inner foot. Go back and forth at your own pace. Try to feel that rolling through the hips. Feel that little bit of cooperation in the hips as they go back and forth. And then bring it back up. Good. Heel toe the feet in. Push your bolster down to the tip of the tailbone. And bring the knees in. Just let your hips release. Let your low back release. If you feel like you need anything else before you go into your Savasana and corpse pose, go ahead and take it now. If you want to take a plow, legs over the head, you can. Whatever you feel like you need. If you think you're ready, go ahead and push your bolster down all the way to calves. Or you can get rid of it if you want. Calves over the bolster, feet hanging, palms facing up. Good job. Did you get that little inner knee stretch? Yeah, good. Have a good day. Alright, let's inhale, bring the arms over your head, let your belly sink, let your ribs open. Hold that air and reach through heels, spread the toes. And then as you exhale, point the toes, roll all the way in with the feet and the legs. Close the fists, close the ribs. Inhale, open it back up. Exhale, release. Put your arms wherever you're most comfortable for your corpse. Traditionalist, palms facing up, by your sides, a little wide. Soften the breath. Soften the facial muscles, muscles in the head and neck. Let your eyes roll to the back of the head in the middle of the forehead where the third eye lives to soften the facial muscles. Let it feel spreading across the brow, across the bridge of the nose, base of the tongue, in between the ears, behind the skull. And let everything go.
open fingers, spread toes, inhale. Bring the arms up and back, shoulder blades heavy, ribs open, low belly sink. As you exhale, point toes, roll legs in, roll feet in, close fists. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, let it go. Jump